Hello, everyone, and welcome to AppStack, our webinar series where you get to meet Salesforce customers and hear about all of their favorite apps and how they're using them. What is an AppStack? Well, an AppStack is a series of apps within your Salesforce org, basically like a tech stack. So oftentimes here at AppExchange, we hear about customers wanting to learn what other customers are using in terms of their AppExchange apps and how they're extending Salesforce. And not just one or two apps, but many apps. So the goal today is to show you those tech stacks and what those AppExchange apps look like and how they work together. My name is Amanda Nelson. I'm Director of Community Marketing at Salesforce, focusing on the AppExchange. And today we have our esteemed host and my friend and mentor, Geraldine Gray, Salesforce MVP, as well as founder and CEO of Endium. Hi, Geraldine.
Good afternoon. How are you, Amanda?
I'm great. I'm excited to see these app stacks.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We've already had a dry run, and it was really interesting. So I'm happy to share and to learn from Inez and Matt.
Oh, great. Well, take it away and tell us about our customers today.
Okay, perfect. So welcome everybody to today's All in the Stack App Stacks. We're going to be sharing two customer stories. Our first speaker is Inez Garcia. Inez, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been using Salesforce?
Hi everyone. Well, my story with Salesforce comes for about 5, if not 6 years ago. And yeah, I help organizations to become more agile whilst delivering Salesforce.
Perfect. So you've been using it for 5 or 6 years, and you're based in?
I'm based in London, in the UK.
Okay, brilliant. Welcome. And Matt, why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, and tell us how long you have been using Salesforce?
Yeah, so I'm Matt. I work for a charity also in London in the UK called Homeless Link. I've been working with Salesforce since for about 10 years now, nearly.
Wow, you're a veteran.
Yeah, sadly, and a lack of hair shows it as well.
No, well, I'm looking forward to hearing your story, and I'm looking forward to you sharing with all the attendees the stack that you work on at Homeless Link. I've had a little preview, and it was really interesting. Okay, so let's move along to our overview of what we're talking about today. And Amanda, there you go, perfect. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk to Inez. Inez, you're based in London. You've been using Salesforce for about 5 years. Tell us what you do in your current role and what your Salesforce responsibilities are.
So I was saying with my quite long job title, what I really do as an agile coach and a Salesforce MVP in a sense is how we can get the best and enhance what we already have in terms of the applications and then as well of the different teams within the company. So yeah, really excited to share some of the apps with you because I have come to love quite a bit of the available apps because it really helps you to speed up to market in a sense.
Okay, perfect. And what does Get Agile do?
So we help organizations to become more agile. So from coaching, from program level to team level. So adopting different agile frameworks, but mainly is to how we can generate further mindset into delivering value to the customers and trying to streamline a lot of the processes within.
So you work a lot with software and you work with a lot of software engineers.
Yes, and with a lot of other layers of the organization because you can optimize a lot of the different processes and teams. You know, we can be super agile on development, but yet to get to market quicker, you need to allow the organization to become more agile, not only the delivery team.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing your stack. So let's take a peek. And then I'm excited for you to walk us through the solution and to explain to us how you came up with this stack. So there's lots of apps in here we haven't talked about before, and I'm really keen to hear your take. So shall we start with your admin stack? How does duplicate check work? What's special about it, and how do you use it at Get Agile?
So yeah, well, duplicate check, you probably guessed it by the name, right? So I came across this app years ago. I think one of the very first one. So what is helping to sort of your duplicate data, right? You have, we want it or not, we end up with some messy sections of the application. So that's sort of the problem that covers. My favorite thing of all for this is the support. Like, really blow my mind. One of the best supports I ever had. So very early days in my Salesforce career, Stan and the team will jump into a call and help me out to set up all the different rules and everything. So that's my super favorite thing. One of the best. Now, in terms of other things, of the specifics of the application, what it helps you to do. So what I find different or super mega great is the fuzzy matching rules that you can generate and any object that you have within your Salesforce app. But especially the percentage of proximity, right? So you can start having quite close rules in terms of finding duplicates within records, 99% of proximity, and then you can flex and work through all the percentage as you're getting obviously better. And then from the back of it, you can auto merge and you can do prevention rules as well.
Perfect. And then, so if you've got duplicate check taking care of your data, then what are you using the adoption dashboards? What sort of key metrics do you look for on there?
So the adoption, in a sense, you know, you can have a great application, you can have the best application in the world, but the thing that importance the most is how much it gets used, right? So my favorite thing is that very quickly you can see how different extensions that you may be doing within your Salesforce org, how are they getting adopted, right? So it's really quick start. You get a lot of different reports and that's from the back of it. And what really helps you to do is identify sections, you know, other departments or other enhancements you may have done that you need to look a little bit more how you can get your users using it more. So very quick way to get started with that.
Yeah, so a quick way to see what's working, what's not working, and then help drive some action to maybe enhance the user experience or go give people some extra training.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the Agile Accelerator is probably your favorite app. So why don't you tell us how you use it to solve real-world problems, either with companies that you're working with or in your own organization?
So yes, absolutely. It's one of my favorites. It has it on the name. And the accelerator is actually like a slice of what Salesforce is used internally. So only have the core items like you can have your backlog, your stories, your work items, your sprints. So my favorite thing of this app is that we always talk about adoption, right? So I think with this app, you can lead by example and use Salesforce to build Salesforce. So what better than that to talk about adoption with your users? The great other thing that it has is that it's integrated, right? So you may be using ideas internally or maybe within communities, so you can promote ideas into work items within the accelerator or cases, things that comes from your customers. You can generate that as work items in the pipeline of your backlog. And it doesn't really have to be only software related. Other departments, they can use it. So you can link different value streams with the specific accounts that you're using. So in a sense, allows you to have, for me, the two most important things if you want to become more agile to start with, which is have a visual representation of the work in progress and allows you to have that pause and retrospect, you know, how you can inspect what just happened every loop and adapt to become better.
So I love that you use this app. I think one of the features, as you were alluding to, is that you can use all of it or you can use a lot of it, and it doesn't have to be only technology project specific. So you can take the agile approach and you can blend it to part of the organization that maybe is HR that is doing projects, and they can use those same features, and they can apply that methodology to their project as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Perfect. And the price, because that might even be better than all of the features.
Sorry, what's that?
The price?
The price is Salesforce Labs. It's free. It's one of these programs within Salesforce to promote internally to generate apps for free to all of us. So yeah, it's one of the great things of the Ohana.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so now tell us about your analytics tool. You've chosen the Salesforce Community Management Lab. So what is it? What does it do? How do you use it?
Right, so yeah, the analytics is another one. So the benefit of using this is once you go live with communities, it removes a lot of time to work out which sort of set of metrics or you should be looking at in terms of community performance. So my very favorite thing is that you can do actions from the back of it. So for example, using this app within the workspaces of your community, you have access to dashboards and reports. So for example, you may be able to see the unanswered questions, and from the report itself, you can respond to those questions waiting for an answer. So very actionable. And the other thing as well that I really like is that helps you to spot gaps, like searches within your community that doesn't have any results. So that helps you to put effort in your knowledge base, for example.
Ah, excellent. Okay, perfect. And then lastly, you're using Pardot as well. How do you use Pardot to solve some problems in the office?
So Pardot, in a sense, helps you to solve a typical problem in marketing, because it's difficult to track leads and it's difficult to demonstrate ROI. So I think generally it's very easy to fall on correlation instead of looking at causality, right? So when we see we launched a campaign and that generated sales, we very often tend to say, okay, so that campaign that generated that sales, but you have many other initiatives going on in the organization that maybe generated that value. So part of it is here really to integrate your effort. So you can integrate it with your AdWorks, with your web content, with Salesforce. My favorite thing is that the application framework is super easy to get started, reusable and very visual. So the journey that it has from the back of it. And the great other thing is that helps you to invest efforts into what brings more value. So it's not just about how much interest a prospect may have about you, but allows you to grade things that you are interested on as an organization, so you can focus on those fast.
Perfect. Okay, so if I do a little summary, we've got the duplicate check, which you love the support because they gave you superlative support, and you like the ability to do tighter or looser fuzzy matching. We've got the adoption dashboards, which tell you if there's a problem going on, people may be having challenges in next trading. Agile Accelerator allows you to bring for free a project structure or methodology to your organization that's not just for the IT team, but can be spread to other departments. The Salesforce Community Management Dashboard Lab, what I really liked about what you were talking about there was the ability to look for the gaps in your process, or look for where people are asking questions and there's no help, and that allows you to generate knowledge. And then you can tie it all together by talking to your customers or talking to your constituents with Pardot. Does that kind of sum up what you've got in the stack?
Perfect. Couldn't say better.
Perfect. Okay. Right. So I'm going to move on to Matt. But while I'm talking to Matt, please think about this question: if you could have any app, free or paid, or invent it yourself, what would that be? If you think about that after we had a chat, Matt, I'll loop back around and come for your answer. So thank you so much. Matt, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Matt. Okay, so Matt, you're based in London and you work for a charity. So tell us a little bit about Homeless Link. What do they do? What's their goal or their mission?
Okay, so we are a charity. We are a membership organisation for all the other homelessness charities in England. our mission is to end homelessness in this country.
And so what do you mean by you're a membership organization for other homeless charities?
Okay, so in England alone, there are about 1,000 charities providing services to homeless people. Those might be hostels or day centres or employment projects or outreach teams, and they all need to do their jobs as well as they can. And lots of them are very small organisations. There are some large national charities there, but lots of them are very small non-profits working with 1 or 2 staff or mainly with volunteers. And they need access to information about the policies that affect homeless people, good practice advice about how to run their services better, training in order for their staff and volunteers, IT systems so they can record their work. We also need to get information from them to argue for really good policies that will help to end homelessness or to mitigate against policies which are having a sort of unintended consequence of increasing homelessness. So we gather data from our members to use that to create a voice for homeless people and homelessness services to government at all levels. And we also use our services to help our members deliver better services to homeless people.
So this is really interesting. So you're helping people who help others, and then you're giving them the power of enterprise level solutions when there may be just 1 or 2 people who may be paid or volunteered or a mix of anything from small or larger teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So one word for it sometimes called a second tier organization, but that sounds a bit sort of, or an umbrella organization. I mean, we like to think of ourselves as, the word we use is we're a backbone organization for the sector. We provide them with infrastructure and support so that they can do their jobs as best they can.
Great. Okay. Well, let's take a look at your stack and then let's see how your infrastructure and support helps you deliver your job.
Okay.
Okay. So we're looking at payments, membership and events, data, and marketing.
Yeah, and this
where
is
would
just
you like to start?
This is just a subset of so we've been using, as I said, Salesforce for about 10 years, and we probably have a dozen apps that we use. But these ones really focus on our core activity of how we run a membership organization on Salesforce. So let's probably best to start with Fontiva membership.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with Fontiva. What do you like about it? What do you use it for? How does it help you solve problems with your membership team?
Okay, so when we started using Salesforce, we took it out of the box and we turned it on, and we installed it, and we, like most people did, we decided we could build everything ourselves, and so we built ourselves a membership admin system. And to be honest, it wasn't very good. It was a lot better than the sort of on-premise system we've been running for several years, but it really wasn't that great. So what we've done now is we've bought Fontiva, both their membership and their events piece. Really, we're working with 750 member organizations. They're charities, they don't have a lot of money, so we don't charge high membership fees, but we need to be as efficient as possible. I've got one membership officer who does all of our membership administration. So having one app that works across all our 750 members is fantastic. The best thing about Fontiva membership is the membership admin screens. One of the challenges, we have 750 members, they all employ staff, some of them 1 or 2 staff, up to some may have 1,000 staff. So across our membership, there's probably 10, 20, 30,000 staff there. And we only know about a few of them. And we don't know when they move and get new jobs. With the membership admin screen, the admins, each of our members, can create and edit the contacts of that work for their organization. So we can distribute the challenge of our contact management to all the people who actually know what's happening with their own staff.
Perfect. And they can manage it themselves without you having to worry about updating 30,000 records.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Where would you like to take us next on your app journey?
So let's look at Fontiva events as well. We're a membership organisation and a non-profit. What a lot of people do, we deliver a lot of our mission through events. We have a big 3-day annual conference in the summer. We do half a dozen sort of 1-day conferences, and we probably do about 50 or 60 regional events through the year and about 100 training courses. So that's a lot of events, and we used to manage them on Eventbrite, and it was okay, but not great. With Fontiva events, we can, using their event builder, we can build an event in about 5 or 10 minutes. By which I mean we can take an existing event, we can enter details about the venue, about all the sessions, all the speakers, all the rooms, the capacity of the rooms. And with a press of a button, create an event website where the delegates, when they book on, they can see all the sessions and the workshops, they can book themselves on, they can order their if they've got special vegetarian or vegan food options, they can put those in, and we get all of that data in one place along with their booking fees.
Perfect. Okay. And then so you've got the data from your people who are part of your membership services and membership organizations. You've organized events for them. Where do you go next?
So let's talk about payments. The default in the internet is the assumption that everyone's got a credit card and will pay for stuff on credit card. And certainly in the UK non-profit sector, very few staff working in non-profits have company credit cards. Charities don't typically give them out. So most charities like to pay money by being sent invoice and doing bank transfer. And if they don't pay, it's incredibly expensive to chase them up. And with 750 members, and if the membership fee is only £52 a year, £1 a week is what we charge for our small organizations, we can spend that money very quickly just chasing up an unpaid bill. So with Go Cardless, what we've got is automated direct debit functionality. It enables people to set up direct debits when they join, to set up direct debits at any point, to amend them. We can claim their membership fees annually, automatically, massively reducing our costs of membership administration.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. And it's better that the money goes in your pockets than anywhere else, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just more efficient so that we get the money easily without having to, spend time just ringing people up, emailing people saying you haven't paid your membership bill, which no one's really keen to pay because you're paying for a year in advance, and then you've got all sorts of issues about, well, if they invoice them in April and they pay in June, when does their membership start and end, and what happens to the membership benefits they got in between? So it's very complicated. Using direct debits and automatically collecting the money just makes everything just 100% simpler.
Great. So now let's talk about your data stack. So you've got Locate and Spanning. How do you use those two products to help solve your problems? Okay, so I told you about our membership officer, and the one thing he is incredibly obsessed about is getting accurate data about our members. And our staff, whilst they're all really good at ending homelessness, they're not the best necessarily at creating perfect records when they update them. So they'll create a record and they'll put in a good stab at the address, but it's probably not 100% right. So what we use Locate for, and it used to be called PCA Predict, and before that it was called Postcode Anyway, we've been using it for about 10 years, is it's address verification. We can use it just once when we create the account to make sure we get the address 100% right. And that's not just for when we send people post, and actually we don't do that much post now, but it's also because we can use that location to identify the parliamentary constituency, the local authority in the region that member is based in, which we can use in our campaigning and influencing work. So that's just, it's really simple, works really well, and just does the job. Okay. And Spanning backup, how are you using that? I know that they have special pricing level for non-profits, isn't that right?
They do. They have a very good pricing offer for non-profits, and we've been working with them for a number of years. I mean, obviously there's Salesforce back everything up, and we obviously expect Salesforce to look after our data, and pretty much they do. In fact, the whole 10 years I've been doing it, they've lost any of our data. But the biggest risk is human error, and the biggest risk is staff inadvertently deleting data. And as I said, I've got a brilliant staff team, but they use Salesforce all the time for all sorts of different things, and they're not really 100% Salesforce experts, so they're quite likely sometimes to inadvertently delete a whole bunch of records or do a whole load of changes that we don't want them to. And so we plug Spanning Backup in, it collects all our data, it keeps it forever. If we ever have a problem, we can go back and look at the data. It's one of those, plug and forget things. But the great thing about it is that they are continually upgrading the product. So we're getting, adding new features to make it, compliant with GDPR, to enable us to populate sandboxes, to restore metadata, backup and restore metadata, which has been a bit of a bugbear of ours at times. So that's one of those apps which, as they develop the product over time, we reap the benefits of it. Yeah,
I hadn't even thought about using it for GDPR, but that's interesting. I've always thought of it a little bit like a time machine where you can go back and find all the stuff that somebody else has edited and go back and put it right if there's been an error.
Yeah, but it works. There are lots of use cases for it. That we use it in another part of our business, and it's got lots of features that that work for quite odd use cases. Populated data for sandboxes, doing data migrations. It's really good for things like that.
Gosh, all the secrets I hadn't even thought about. So lastly, let's tell me about Pardot. How are you using Pardot?
Yeah, so Pardot's a fairly recent addition. We added it probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago. We do most of our communication with the staff who work for our member organizations is by email. And we typically send out, each week we'll do a membership bulletin out to, 8 to 10,000 of our members. And we would do that through, something like MailChimp, Campaign Monitor that we've used in the past, and they're basically just email broadcasts. With Pardot, since we started using it for sales of a product we deliver, we've now started using it for all of our membership engagement, because it just enables us to segment our membership better so that we send out messages that are more relevant. So, for example, one of our projects, people opt in for fundraising or we opt in for newsletters. We can build one newsletter and make sure that only the people who've opted in for fundraising get the fundraising messages. For our members, they can select their areas of interest, and we can use Pardot to drive that. We can track, really importantly, which emails our members have opened and which ones they followed up, so that we've got really such better insight into the engagement that our members have with the messages that we used to just send out into the ether and hope they got read.
So thank you. I think this has been very interesting. If I am an organization who's working in the nonprofit realm, or even if I'm an enterprise level organization, there's lots here I could take away. I like that you talked about how Go Cardless manages the payments and subscriptions and takes away a lot of the human interaction, so that gives you some efficiencies. You've got Fontiva membership and events for ensuring that people get the right sign-ups at the right time, and that lots of people can attend the event without having to have too many staff members being engaged in that process and not too time consuming. Locate helps organize your data, and then Spanning has got a lot of secret backdoors. It sounds like I've never even thought about using it for populating my sandbox. I'd always thought about it as a backup tool, so thank you for that. And then using Pardot, as you say, to make sure that the messages are being delivered on time and appropriately is a really efficient use of how you can target your members better. So thank you very much. I'm going to hand back over to Amanda. And then Amanda, you're going to wrap up. If you would mind popping to Inez and asking for her free app, her dream app, that would be perfect. But otherwise, I'm going to hand over to Amanda for our few last steps.
All right, we have one more app to show you. Today we have our Salesforce Labs evangelist, Sharon Collardi, on the line. And Sharon today is going to tell us about one of her apps that is piquing her interest today. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, Amanda. Thanks for
having me
back.
Tell us about your app.
I had so much fun last month. I was like, hey, let me come back. This is great.
Welcome, Amanda. I'm really happy to have you back, and I hope that you see that both of our speakers from today have got a ton of your apps in there.
I know. I was so excited to see the Labs logo and hear those great stories that those apps are helping organizations. So much fun.
Okay, so
tell us about your app today.
Yeah, so the app I'm going to share today is called Innovation Hub. So Innovation Hub is an app that helps you inside of a community build and foster innovation. So innovation is something it's something that I love. It's part of what I get to do every day is working with employees to create innovations and share them on the AppExchange as lab solutions. And you can help foster that environment inside your own organization. So this uses communities and you're able to spark new ideas so you can contribute and share your idea. You're able to interact with others. So if you have some feedback on someone's idea, or maybe you say, oh, you could iterate this, or how about this feature, you're able to use that in dialogue as well as sharing different industry trends. It is responsive, so if you're on the go and you want to use it on your mobile devices, you're able to do that. And one of my favorite features is that you can create a demo of the prototypes that you're building and use that as a way to get feedback and hear from others in your peers in your community what they think about the different innovations that you're creating. So it's really a great way to connect with your peers and just foster this fun environment of creating innovation from ideas all the way through to final product. And it's available on the AppExchange for free.
For free.
Perfect. Well,
That's our
thank
favorite.
you, Sharon. That's awesome.
Amanda, why don't you wrap up with the last few questions and tell us how folks can get engaged if they're interested in being part of a future webinar with us.
Sure. Well, thank you all for being a part of today's webinar. I know 30 minutes goes by so fast, but you heard about at least 10 apps from 2 amazing customers, as well as a free app from Sharon Clardy and Salesforce Labs. So we appreciate you guys hanging on and hearing all about it. I know we're a minute over. You can build your stack at allinthestack.com. Tweet it for a chance to be featured on our next webinar. We are taking a break in January. We are the first Wednesday of every month, and January will be the beginning of the new year. But we will be back February 6th, same time, same place. You're already registered, so just join us. And again in March and April. So we look forward to seeing you. Thank you for being a part of today's webinar and checking out the app. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.